YouTube, what's going on? We are gonna watch some ranked replays of Rawass, the 14-year-old high-level 1v1 player, as well as a recent rank 1 3v3 player, play with his twin brother, at least as far as I'm told. Killeerz, Rawass's twin brother, of course also from the Middle East, of course also 14 years old, playing 2v2. You know, Killeerz and Rawass both very high-level Rocket League players. In fact, I noticed that Killeerz recently has pushed his way up into the like top 20 or so for Rocket League 1v1. So at some point we're gonna have to get Killeerz in on the 1v1 show match team. But for now, we are gonna watch 3 to 4. I think we got 4 replays. We'll see if we end up watching all of them, of Rawass and Killeerz playing together in 2v2 unranked. We've seen how Rawass plays in 1v1, and now we've seen how Rawass plays in 3v3 as well. So let's see how it works for him and his brother in 2v2. He is playing the Octane. So a lot of people talk about the Rawass Octane because in Next Gen Season 3, which of course we bring up a lot when we talk about Rawass, because he won Next Gen Season 3, he made a switch from the Fennec to the Octane that seemed to be a catalyst in his progress of taking down a lot of top opponents in that tournament. But him and Killeerz are going to start off, you know, a minute 30 into this game, down 1. And, you know, I mentioned this before when we watched 2v2 replays. I think the play style of 2v2 is a little bit more, you know, transferable to 1v1, or maybe the opposite way. 1v1 transfers a little bit more to 2v2 than it does to 3v3. But Rawass, we'll see how many solo plays he makes here. A nice flip reset is enough to keep Allen from coming to challenge. When you get a good reset, even if you don't have any boost, it's going to keep those defenders from wanting to come in and make a play because they might get outplayed. But Rawass stuck in net all by himself. They get air dribble bumped. That's something we've certainly seen before in Rocket League 1v1 play. But Killeerz, total solo play. He actually got a weird spot on that corner. He totally outplayed both of the Orange team members. And all he needed to do was get one final touch off the corner and into the center of the field. And Rawass was going to have the most wide open net of all time. Instead, he seemed to hit an awkward spot on the wall. Made it tough for Rawass. I wonder if Rawass was looking for a pass there to Killeerz as they both drove down the field together. Seemed like it would be a super cheeky type play, but these two have been in tune, you know, pretty well the times we've watched them play before. Rawass pre-jumping this one high, for some reason feeling like he felt the pressure and needed to go up and making a touch. Oh, this is gonna be really, this is gonna be a terrible bummer if they don't score again off this. Killeerz another outplay on both players, and Rawass able to find the angle this time. Looks like they're not in tune on left goes, as Rawass comes all the way out to the kickoff before not touching it. But Rawass loves to make these midfield touches. Something we've seen from him, you know, all ranks long, is he wants to get up Killeerz a nice final play, but he wants to get up and just tap the ball above opponents at any opportunity, and he goes for them at awkward times where you wouldn't really expect a player in his position to make a play. And I think that's what he's hoping on. He's hoping he can turn, get a quick touch that the opponents aren't expecting, and then play from there, you know, with a one-person lead. Rawass, man, he is loving the post so far in this game. So he slams one off the post. And this is what I'm talking about too. He just jumped up in the air after turning into the corner, despite Killeerz being in a good spot. Killeerz, you know, I think jumped himself, thinking he was going to have an opportunity, but when he saw Rawass in the air, he pulled off of it. And I don't know if it's necessarily a problem for Rawass, as he hands over a super free goal to the Orange team, but something to think about if his attempts are worth stealing these opportunities from his teammates. Killeerz going to fake kickoff. Is this called the Spanish kickoff? I haven't seen this, where the player dodges the ball and then goes for the demo. But I want to say people call it the Spanish kickoff. Well, Killeerz and rawass fortunate to execute on that kickoff play to get themselves back to tied with a minute left to go. rawass having no doubts on fully clearing away from the play all the way back to the back corner, even though Killeerz is on offense in the offensive corner of the orange team. rawass very willing to fully reset in order to get his 100 boost. Faith in himself that as long as he's got boost to make a play, everything will be okay. And, risking the missed opportunity of Killeerz potentially being able to create a play for him upfield. rawass having to use a lot of boost to get back to this ball and ended up not connecting on it. The orange team lobbing this high. I doubt they'll do anything off of it, though. Too much risk. Killeerz pass one. Can rawass finish this off? It's not going to matter. It'll hit the ground. So overtime in the first ranked game of rawass and Killeerz. A pinch, and Killeerz potentially trying to jump up for the pass from rawass, but it took him a little bit too long to get it in the air, so the orange team saw it coming. rawass, man, he has created a lot of passing opportunities for the orange team by these quick touches in the corner. Normally a player who is so smart with every touch he makes does seem to be handing away some possessions that doesn't necessarily need to. This pinch would be insane. Imagine this ranked replay ended with a rawass full field pinch from that corner. rawass with lots of space. A booming shot from Allen. The fake challenge is read well. And rawass is back in his comfort zone with the ground dribble. But he's forced to pop it over one. Can't get it past the second. Killeerz one-on-one in the corner. Cannot get the bump to finish off the play. So, and Nia able to clear it away. rawass to Killeerz. Not going to happen. And blue team out of boost. I don't think that possession will last much longer. Open field. Killeerz takes out one. And rawass, great pre-jump, good read of a corner touch that was going to be a tough one for a player not of rawass's caliber. Killeerz high from the ceiling. Going to have a hard time taking it away. I have a feeling, I'm like 90% sure that I'm saying Killeerz's name wrong. I've never heard it said out loud. It is spelt, like the English word Killeerz, but I imagine with the double E and the double I, there is something going on there that I'm not saying. So I apologize. I will find out how to say Killeerz's name correctly. Or maybe it is just Killeerz, in which case that's very lucky. But 2 minutes in, overtime, a long one. Killeerz shots from midfield after the orange team just dove a little bit too deep. rawass and his brother will take the game, and we'll head to another one. rawass and his brother at it again, this time on Farmstead against Hyder and Barrist. And Hyder and Barrist I do recognize. The North American ranked lobbies that we've watched recently, I feel like I notice and recognize most of the names in them. But so far in rawass's games, I hadn't noticed. So I wonder if they queue Middle East and EU and get some Middle East games every once in a while. I have a feeling, YouTube will be yelling at me. I can't believe it. That lobby they played in was a full Middle East RLCS lobby and you didn't know. If it was, I apologize. But Hyder and Barrist both, I think, decent 1v winners. I know Hyder has been really high on the 1 leaderboard before, and I think Barrist is on the 1 leaderboard as well. So, and I'm pretty sure they are both EU players. So, Killeerz and rawass playing on EU. And truly, I don't think the servers are even really worth mentioning. We talk a lot about North American ranked players, and we never really mention that the US West players are playing ranked with the same kind of ping that the Middle East players are playing with here. Because truly it's a playable ping. Wow, what a shot from Hyder. It becomes interesting when, the Middle East players go all the way out to US East, or, the South American players who do frequently play North American servers, play it at an absurd ping, a ping that's relevant to the game, which I think is why you see North American Twitter get frustrated with it. But those South American players must win when they queue North America. I mean, people are not going to queue just to lose all the time, so I imagine it does go at least fairly 50-50. Rawass and his brother, though, about 2 minutes into the game, down 1 off of a nice shot from Hyder. Rawass looking to break up the play. Beres wave dashing his way into his death. Killeerz just got open field. But it's hard to make that kind of clear off the back wall. You can see Rawass knowing that the blue team was coming to clear a demo if they don't make the play fast. So he's just forced out of the play. And even though he dodges that initial demo attempt, doesn't stay alive for long. There's strong touch. Rawass, we know what he's going to do when given space and time. He will create a dribble if nobody puts pressure on him. He does get it past Hyder, but couldn't get it past Beres. And now him and his brother double committing to clear this one away. It was a good idea, though, even though he saw Killeerz going up for it. I think Rawass had the better read, the better opportunity to clear it away. And it was a dangerous situation that was worth taking the risk on. Rawass, nice check. I love that camera work. He was sending it to his back wall so he could get the next touch. And if the blue team came to challenge him, it would be, a situation where he's got to get a quick touch to the corner. But he uses his camera, checks to see if they're coming, because if not, he can just create, an open field dribble, which is a really good situation for his team. And he noticed that he could, so great use of the camera check from Rawass. The 50 from Beres and Hyder. Rawass forced in the air, I think a little bit earlier than he would want to. He only went up because there was a chance that Beres could have turned and challenged. Otherwise, I imagine Rawass would have wanted to take that one all the way down to the ground. The back pass attempt doesn't really work. And now Hyder shooting on an open net. Rawass with very little boost had to just put some kind of pressure on as Killeerz reset. Luckily for him, the other team missed, and they might not be able to finish this one off. But 4 minutes in, only 1 goal for Hyder and Beres, as Rawass looking for one for the ceiling, and Beres can't clear it away. An impressive play from Rawass. I'm surprised he got the heat on that. That made it unsavable. But ooh, the Spanish kickoff from Rawass and Killeerz. I'm letting their secret out. If you guys come up against the two of these guys and the game is either tied or in your favor, you better expect them to run that kickoff against you. Killeerz, wow, like the Goomba stomp on the defender. That did not seem like a scoring position. And whoever that was underneath, I think it was Hyper or Hyder, sorry. Beres had full faith in that player getting the clear, so didn't even double it up and protect against a missed touch. So Killeerz and Rawass spending the majority of the time on the clock in the, behind by 1. I'm trying to think of what I was trying to say. But now in the lead, 2-1 with 15 seconds left to go. Killeerz now being the one a little over-aggressive. Rawass forced to sit and watch as Killeerz makes an awkward touch. Rawass looking for the top corner, had an opportunity to go up 3-1, but doesn't need another goal, just needs to tap this one down, so he'll side flip it to the corner. And did they forfeit before it hit the ground? I think that might be one of the most 5-head forfeits I've ever seen. I don't think that hit the ground. I don't know if that was maybe just, the lag, but man. All right, let's head to the next game. Another game for Rawass and Killeerz versus Hyder and Beres. I imagine that both these teams were queuing together at the time of these games. Rawass trying to put some pressure onto Beres. Wasn't really able to force anything out of him as he takes it up the side wall. Rawass doesn't have the boost to pressure. We see this all the time from Rawass. He loves to try and get 2 touches in a row, regardless of how good that second touch might be. So we see him in a bunch of situations where he gets a first touch, and it's going to cost him, 90 boost to get to the ball again and make another touch. Wow, what a double! As these guys get scored on, and for little reason, it feels like, because he doesn't need to get these second touches that just slightly extend the ball farther into the half, but still give Orange Team possession at the cost of 90 boost. It's all about playing it efficiently, and certainly getting an extra touch sometimes is worth slightly positioning different or costing you some boost. But rawass is really going all in for them, more than you see players do on average, willing to spend entire tanks of boost to get one more touch, to see if he can outplay a defender, and not even necessarily when it's the last defender, because that almost makes more sense. You've got one last defender to beat, use everything you have in the tank to potentially beat them, but he'll do that to get it past just the first defender, which obviously we're talking about a player who's highly rated in 2, so he knows what he's doing. But it's just interesting to see that kind of aggression from rawass, especially in the way we see him play 1v1. Killeerz 50 in the corner. rawass is babysitting him here as he hovers, inches behind Killeerz as he makes a play. Killeerz skied by Barris, but a high bounce. rawass got 2 players to beat, and the flip reset magic not going to work this time. Decides not to use it. Approaching halfway through the game, and we've got another situation where rawass and Killeerz are down 1 in a 1-0 game. rawass, you don't have the boost to go up there and make that touch like you want to. Now he's just bouncing around like he's on a pogo stick. Truly not affecting the play at all, but luckily for him, Hyder and Barris missing on their final attempts. That was a great setup by their team, but Hyder just missing his power shot wide, and patience from rawass. He thought maybe he could catch Barris off guard. If Barris had turned to challenge early, that power shot would have made it over him and scored on an open net. But nice play by Barris. Neither one of these two can read the tough angle high off the top corner. rawass slamming a shot on the near post, with the defenders keeping it away. Hyder, a missed flick. rawass is going to be able to dodge it and grab a possession of his own. Almost a nasty double. That's why you got to be solid on every bit of execution. One missed flick by Hyder and almost left an opportunity for rawass to style on them. A minute 15 left to go. Strong clear by Hyder. Killeerz going to try and pop it up. Double commit from Hyder and Barris. And I think rawass can just send this downfield to Killeerz. Is Killeerz going to end up bumping Hyder? Oh no, double commit. This has got to be a bucket the other way, right? Wow, great recovery from Killeerz. That should have been a goal for rawass and Killeerz, but somehow finding a way not to score it. rawass back into his back corner with 40 seconds left to go, leaving Killeerz to go for an eligible play. rawass tip to the corner, can't get to it. Time winding down for these two to make it back. Great patience from rawass. He was in a dangerous trouble, but able to keep his cool, go for that single jump and initiate a dribble, which is his best chance at creating an opportunity instead of panic power touching the ball away. Killeerz over rawass. rawass gonna need a nutty angle. It's gonna send this high, and actually Killeerz is gonna be able to finish it. Wow. rawass didn't find the nutty angle, but he did send it to the ceiling in time for Killeerz to get underneath it and finish it off. We are headed to overtime between rawass, Killeerz, Barris, and Hyder. rawass Rawass, a strong touch off the wall. Back to it first. Does outplay one. Trying to bump Barrist out of the way to finish it off. Can't do so, but does pick up the corner boost. So we might see an extended starvation play. Wait a second. We'll just see Killeerz style on him. We'll watch that last one from Killeerz' perspective. He deserves it as he puts on a nutty play. A little tap off the wall and a flip reset above Hyder. Wow. What a shot. As Killeerz and Rawass win the game number 2. Rawass and Killeerz sending Hyder and Barrist out of the queue. I think all these games happen very close to each other. Maybe Hyder and Barrist still queued. But this time, they aren't getting them. They're getting LED and Dot, whoever Dot may be. Rawass looking very dapper in this game as he's got his suit on. And he'll score, beating both defenders all by himself. 24 seconds into it, a nice air dribble past one and the bump to finish it off for the other. Oh, Rawass and Killeerz going to bring out the Spanish kickoff even when they're in the lead. You know, up until this moment, we had seen them only use it as a way to get back to tied or to try and, you know, break a tie. But apparently they're willing to do it on any one of those straight kickoffs as a way to try and get a goal. But LED almost able to shoot on an open net there. The ball moving just a little bit too fast for him to get it off of the wall to find the angle. Rawass resetting on boost. Taking the back corner as well. I mean, it was pretty clear that Killeerz was going to need one of the 2 boosts. It was one of those situations where you maybe even expected to see Rawass pull off the ball and go just for the back corner boost to leave the mid for his teammate, but instead he took both of them. And they're eventually going to get scored on. And I feel like that was relevant. Rawass taking both those boosts, leaving Killeerz, who is obviously low, with absolutely nothing. And then, of course, the double commit is what was the icing on the cake as they double commit for that ball in midfield. Killeerz, obviously, with no boost, was not able to recover. And Rawass, who did have some, still wasn't able to make the save. A high lofted ball. Rawass electing to play the touch off of the orange team's touch instead of try and beat them out to the nice pass. Killeerz, an air dribble of his own. Both these players are really talented. We're watching the whole thing from Rawass's perspective. Maybe we shouldn't going back. It does seem like a mix between their perspectives probably would have been better. But Rawass is the 1v1 player we're used to watching, so that's just why we picked his perspective. But Killeerz has done really well. And like I said, I'm almost definitely saying that name wrong. So as soon as I find out how to say it right, I'll make sure you guys know. Nice pass by Rawass. Boomed in by his brother and a 2-1 lead. Rawass back to the corner. Killeerz a dribble of his own. LED threatening underneath the ball. And Rawass knows it as he's got to sit and wait. That was a nice pinch. I think it was Rawass's touch that did that as he just barely pinched it away. Nice pre-jump on the back wall. Dot trying to take a shot attempt. But I think Rawass had it covered. The brothers once again wanting the same boost. Rawass should have time to pick up this corner though. Who came out of that alive? Killeerz did. Killeerz looking for another demo. The pre-jump from Dot and Dot able to take it away. LED. Nice flip reset. I am so surprised Rawass didn't just trust Killeerz there. Killeerz was set up in a great shadow position and was ready to make a save like that. Rawass had to turn around and make like an awkward late save to the point where, you know, it doesn't really make any sense to go for it, especially because by doing so, he's double committing with his teammate. So the best goal line defender in the game, or one of them, not having faith that anybody else can do what he does. But now he's got LED in a 1v1. Can't wait too long. Wow, got away with one with Dot not tapping that in. It did clear right in front of his car. He just wasn't able to get the touch before it passed by. A minute left to go. Rawass and his brother still in the lead. Rawass going to go to bump some defenders out of the way. And even though he doesn't connect, he breaks it up enough to let Killeerz roll in a third. 1:10 left to go. The Middle East dynamic duo absolutely crushing the ranked game. Rawass will double tap it from the back corner. 1 minute left to go. I tell you what, after watching the previous games with these two, I almost expected the other team to forfeit after that 4-1 goal, but they're staying in it. They want to make it back, or wait, maybe they are trying to forfeit because LED absolutely just sat in the corner. I would not be surprised. Oh, these guys are talking to each other. Oh, we don't get to see what they were saying, but they're absolutely talking to each other. LED just stopped driving, you know, for an extended time. Obviously said something in chat, and now Dot is responding, and now Rawass is responding. What do we think? What do we think they were saying? Oh, that's so interesting. Dot still talking, finally decided to stop, and now they forfeit. See, I told you that 4-1 was likely going to be a forfeit. And you can just see the in-game chat being chatted between the rest of these guys. Well, doesn't matter. Rawass Killeerz winning all the ranked games I found of them. A very impressive brother duo. I expect we'll see a lot more of them once they turn 15.